Good evening once again to one and all. This is Brother Darren. Hebrews 9 verse 27 and John 3 verse 16. Just caught this interesting feature on RT TV off of YouTube. It's in regards to the Biohax chip implant. And this was taken on the 11th of November.
Imagine showing up for work and instead of swiping a key card to get into the building, you simply just wave your hand and a microchip inserted under your skin gave you access. For some people in Sweden, they don't imagine this life. It is their life. Thanks to a company called Biohax, biochipping has taken off as an increasingly common alternative to the use of key cards and e-tickets. After being injected with a syringe between the thumb and the forefinger at roughly the size of a grain of rice, these chips are designed to render users' lives more convenient by replacing the need for a cumbersome amount of cards, passcodes, and signatures. Joining us now to discuss is the founder and CEO of Biohax, Johan Austerlund. So when we talk about this issue here in the US, it still sounds very sci-fi, but in reality, people in Sweden have been using this technology for several years. So how common is it, and what do all these people use it for?
So I'd say it's per capita more common than any other place in the world, and most people use it for single sign-on on computers to rid themselves of passwords, gym access, train rides, closed-loop payments, smart office, smart home personalization. And I mean, we're doing payment in the next couple of weeks, I guess, which is going to relieve anyone from having to handling money. I mean, paper notes is extremely cumbersome for any nation state, and just adds risk and clutter. So
it's pretty incredible technology. Can you explain a little bit about how the technology works? Because obviously people lose their jobs, they move to new apartments, they change their gym membership. Some people actually go and some people just fake it. But what is the process for updating that microchip once it's already inserted in the skin?
So it'd be kind of drag if you had to replace the chip every once in a while and every time you move or whatever. So all you have to do is you become the root key instead of you having to handling 10, 15, 20 keys and disconnected tokens. So the only thing you do is you change the gym. Instead of getting their card, you supply them with your key, and they facilitate that in their system in the duration of you being a member. Exactly the same thing with a job. I mean, you load credentials onto a card by a system. So if someone changes job, you just remove them from the system. But here we make the user the root key. So the user is the distributor of their keys rather than the other way around.
So you're basically flipping the entire model, which is very interesting. Now, in 2017, there was an attempt by a Wisconsin company to implant these chips in their workers. The company 3 Square Market didn't receive a very positive reaction. So have you found that in other countries, specifically in the US, that there is a picture of the lowly worker being chipped, monitored, and being tracked?
I mean, you can't escape the fact that it does lean towards the 84 Orwellian dystopia, and I mean, who wouldn't think so? Because everything we've ever seen that has microchip or implants featured in a movie or anything else, it's either polonium, tracking device, or explosives, which it's all the information we ever had. I mean, this is kind of flipping it by putting you in control and making this tiny thing a part of you, you dictate preferences on sharing, you dictate everything about it. So it's not employer saying, employee, get this chip. It's like 99% is the other way around. It's employees saying, why don't we use this badass technology in our workplace? Because they do. And the media does portray it in all different ways, but I'd say it's a good thing being scared of technology, because if you are, you get informed. So I think I'd rather scare people and make them inform themselves of what it actually is and how it works than the other way around.
Yeah, and it is interesting how they become, as you said, kind of the root of all of this, and they share that identifier. But the company name, of course, is Biohack. What about the issue of hacking? And I'm sure a lot of people are concerned about this as well, because these chips do release a signal, essentially, and I believe it's an NFC signal. But is it possible for hackers to read those chips separately from their intended use, to pull information from them, to change them? How do you avoid that issue of hacking?
So nothing is unhackable. Let's just get that straight.
Right.
I mean, our primary goal is basically making everything just stupendously boring to try and get. So the actual hack would never reward itself once you get to the goal, because you'd get an extremely compartmentalized set of bits. So, I mean, unless you're a nation state or a couple of nation states going together to try and pawn blockchain, there'd be no reward at the end of the hack. So if you just make it boring and no big reward at the end of the road, no one's going to hack it.
Oh, there's a very big reward at the end of the road for the implant or a mark put in the hand in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16 in particular. The Bible says, "No man will be able to buy or sell without a mark in the head or a mark in the right hand at a future point," as part of Bible prophecy. And then chapter 14, and in another part of Revelation, it says that any man that taketh, of the mark shall be damned. And, yet another striking bit of evidence in Bible prophecy as to why one should believe on Jesus Christ. The Bible was written, at least the New Testament, over 2,000 years ago, or roughly that, from since when Christ has walked the earth. And we still, in our lifetime, in real time, can see, Bible prophecy becoming fulfilled right in our own eyes. The Bible says, "How long will you remain stiff-necked?" Anyway, this is Brother Darren, once again, Hebrews 9 verse 27 and John 3 verse 16. God bless.